Hello everyone and welcome back to the Successfully Balanced podcast. I'm your host Aria and today we're talking about how to achieve literally anything, and I mean it, like literally anything. So if you're new here, I welcome you to the podcast. This is the podcast for the really ambitious women who just want to go above and beyond in life and really want to achieve some crazy big things, but also don't want to burn out in the process and also actually want to have a life in the process. So if you're new here, welcome. But I really hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, I would love if you could give this podcast a rating. If you're listening on Spotify, you just go to the homepage of Spotify and there's like a little rating button. It would be amazing if you could do that. Otherwise, if you're on YouTube, then like and subscribe. Actually, I heard the other day that if you're on Spotify, the main metric that they measure is downloads. So if you download this episode and then like if you're worried about storage, like undownload it afterwards, I think that's like the main thing that Spotify uses to measure in terms of like distributing it to more people. So the more you engage with this, the more like, you know, whatever you do with this episode, the more you do, the more it will get shared to more people, which will be amazing. And also if this podcast has changed your life in any way, shape or form, I would love if you could leave a comment or send me a DM on Instagram and just tell me something that you have found interesting about this and tell me some way that it's changed your life, because that would mean the absolute world to me. Yeah, so let's get into it. I also am going to try today to not say the whole podcast episode, because I really have been struggling with that and I'm really going to make an effort today to not do that. So if I do, I will be cutting it out, but you won't know about it, but I will really try my best not to. So yeah, let's get into it. So, first thing, what I do usually at the start of every single episode is I'll say one thing that I've been working towards in terms of my goals, and then one thing that I've been doing to have more balance in my life. So in terms of my goals, oh my gosh, okay, no, this week was actually really, really good. So first of all, I got my dream client. Like, she is incredible. She is amazing. I love her so much. And I just am so grateful. Literally, my dream client that I've always been thinking of in my head, this is literally her. She just came into my life and we started working together and she's amazing. And I just felt like there is so much waiting for her and I'm so excited. And so far she's been loving what we've been doing together and I've been loving working with her. So that has been amazing. And also, oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. Last episode, I did not even mention Elevate. I cannot believe how I did that. It's crazy because I've been working on it so much. Especially this week, I've been adding a bunch of videos to tier 1 for the training ground, because basically how it's going to work. If you haven't heard about Elevate before, basically Elevate is going to be a year-long program where you basically go from being high potential and having a lot of goals and dreams to actually executing them and going even further than you ever imagined. Like at the end of the first 6 months, I want you to achieve the things that you wanted. And then in the next 6 months, we go so much further. So the brand, the body, business, bank account, anything that you want to elevate in your life, we will do it. And it's going to be split into 3 tiers, and I'm going to launch tier 1 at the end of this month, so May 31st. And if you are listening to this episode after that, go and sign up because it is really good. Like I am so proud of this. I feel like there is just, I would pay like thousands for the amount that I'm putting in here. Like literally there is so much in there and I'm so proud of it. And I'm just really excited to be able to share it with you guys. But if you're listening after May 31st, it will be live. Otherwise, I'll put the waitlist link in the description so you can sign up to that. Otherwise, yeah, if it's past that date, literally go sign up because it's really good. But yeah. But what I was saying though is that tier 1 is going to be most of the like mindset and identity kind of things. So building the identity, building the capacity, the nervous system regulation to be able to hold what you say you want. And then tier 2, once I've created that, will be more of the strategy. So things like social media, content creation, personal branding, selling online, oh my God, I said, sorry. All of those kind of things which are more strategic. I'll even do things like your dream body and just like other things that we want to elevate in our lives, creating your dream life, achieving anything. And then I said again, and then the 3rd tier will be VIP, and we'll have a private group chat. And oh my gosh, the absolute North Star for Elevate is to do retreats. I really want to, especially with the VIP tier, is actually go on retreats to like Bali, Europe, all these places. I'm just so sad. I think that would be the coolest thing. Obviously, that's a really long way away, but that would be amazing. So I want to get together a group of girls and actually just physically do something in real life. That would be incredible. So that's how it's sort of going to work. But I will be launching the tiers sort of sequentially. So tier 1 is going to be launching this month, and then tier 2, depending on, I think it may be either next month or the month after, but I like with all these things, I don't want to launch them before I feel like they're really ready to go, because I want you guys to get the absolute best, and I don't want to put something out there that's like half what I want it to be. Obviously, I will still be adding on to things. For example, with the self-talk tracks and visualization and meditations I'm going to be putting in tier 1, there's a request button, so people can like request one on demand and I'll make it. So obviously that's going to be building over time, but I'll still be launching it with like a good amount in there. And then tier 2, I want to have like at least 5 courses in there and then build on that over time. And then VIP, they'll get all of that plus the group chat and like a lot more hands-on support. It's like I'll literally be in that group chat every single day answering people's questions. So yeah, anyways, I was just gonna say, I was really surprised I didn't mention it last week because I had been doing so much work on it, and there's so much more I'm gonna do this week. This week is literally my lock-in week on Elevate. So yeah, little tangent, but let's actually get into it because I really wanna make this. Oh my God, I didn't even, okay, something I've been doing for balance this week is I went to the beach yesterday, like to have dinner with my boyfriend's grandparents, and it was really lovely. And what else did I do? We had family friends over on Friday night. But yeah, but also it's just been a really good week. Like I've been in a really good mood. A lot of good things happened. Like I got invited into this community for free for a whole year, and just so many good things have happened. Oh my goodness, as well, guys. I really want to say this in like the most honest way possible, but I had my highest income week ever this week of my entire existence. And I just feel, I hit my microphone. I just feel so blessed and grateful. And I don't want to sound like I'm bragging at all because like literally this has been such a long time coming for me. And this is like so, it's crazy to think that actually happened like so early as well. So I don't want to talk about that too much because I feel like some people can be sensitive to that, but I just feel really grateful that things are starting to pay off. And if you heard it a few episodes ago, you would know I was going through like a pretty difficult time in terms of like pivoting my niche and stuff like that, but now it's finally coming to fruition and I'm so grateful. So just want to put that out there. But let's get into the actual episode. So I have made this, I put some notes down, but I really want to make this sort of like a masterclass style. So this is going to be like everything that I would do if I was sort of hosting an actual masterclass without like the slides and the full-on presentation. But I just sort of want to talk through my process of how I would sort of teach you to achieve literally everything. And so the first thing I want to say is that you can achieve literally anything except, sorry, you can achieve pretty much anything that you set your mind to. The only reason that you may not be able to achieve something is because it's literally written in the sky that you can't. Like if you want to be the president of a country that you have to be like a natural born citizen of, that's not possible. If you want to be an astronaut and you have to have 20/20 vision and there's like no surgery to fix that, that's not possible. But other than those things, like there is literally like nothing else in this world that you can't achieve. If someone else has done it, it is proof. Like I seriously, I grew 100,000 followers in 10 months. Like that should not be possible. I launched a business and within 1 month of launching, I became an award-winning founder. That should not be possible. There were so many things that I've done in the past couple of years that really should not be possible. But because I believed in them enough and I set my mind to it, and I didn't even have a moment of doubt where I thought that, oh my God, maybe I can't achieve this. I made them possible. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh my God, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm saying this because it's proof that you can do it too. I had this saying that if someone else in the world has done it, I can do it too. So if I have done these things, that is proof that you can do it too. That being said, you do need to be able to believe it. If you don't believe you can achieve something, you cannot achieve it. I'm really sorry, but it's probably really not going to happen. If I, like for a really long time, for example, I did not believe that I could do well on content creation. And for months, I was really stagnant. I wasn't really getting many followers and it was really slow. But the second that I started just believing that I am so like capable of sharing my message and helping so many people, the numbers started to shift and I started to go so much, I started to grow so much more because I had that belief in myself. And so like, there's a couple of ways that you can expand your belief, and we'll talk about later on about how to sort of like get out of your own way and undo the track record of like why you don't currently believe that you can do something. But it'll make more sense when you get to that part of the episode. But to expand your belief at the moment, I want you to focus on expanding your capacity. And there are a few ways to do that. One of them is to surround yourself by people that have already achieved really big things and like things that you want to achieve, or even bigger than that. For example, I used to think that it was literally only possible to make like a maximum 10K a month. Like that was that was the ultimate goal. Like there's literally nothing more that I could have thought after that. But I was listening to this podcast. I think I mentioned this on another episode before. I was listening to this podcast and this guy was casually like, oh yeah, like I just hit, I think 400K last month. And I was like you did what? Like I did not even think that was like possible at all. And I was like, I literally just I couldn't even fathom that. It took me months to just like be able to rewire my mindset. But the more that I listen to those kind of things, the more I put myself in rooms with people that literally have no shame in saying, yeah, I'm going to make $1 million a year. Because yes, like that's possible. You can do it. And the more that I put myself in rooms with people who thought like that, the more that I believed it was possible. Because if people around me are doing it, obviously I can do it too. Like I met this woman when I was at this conference and she said, yeah, like we're going to get our business to $1 million annual recurring revenue in 100 days, I think it was. And I was like, whoa, like 100 days from 0 to $1 million like annual recurring revenue. That's crazy. Like that's insane. But she just had no doubt in it. And it made me think like, oh my God, if she can do it, like I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? And so I want you to deliberately put yourself in rooms with people that think like that. And it doesn't even have to be physical because depending on where you live in the world, like if you're not in New York or like Sydney or something, it is more difficult. I mean, I live in a pretty small city in Australia, and even then like I can still find people, but it's not as easy as if I was to go to Sydney or something. That being said, I did actually coincidentally find there's this woman in a community that I joined. She happens to live in my city of everywhere in the world. And she said to me the other day, she was like, yeah, I'm going to make $1 million a year. That's like my ultimate goal. And I was like, yes, you will. And she was sort of like, yeah, like sometimes it takes, being in the same room as someone who understands what that's like to be so ambitious. And I thought that was really interesting. So yeah. So put yourself in those kinds of rooms, but I was also saying it doesn't just have to be physical, you can also be digital rooms. So if listening to my podcasts expands your capacity, and if I'm saying things like, oh yeah, of course you can hit 100K in, I don't know, like a few months, like yeah, like that's awesome. And if that makes you go like, whoa, I didn't think that was possible, keep listening, okay? And there's other people as well. I think, who are some examples? Anaya McMillan, she's awesome. She made like 15 million in digital products. Angela Giacos, she's really cool. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously there's the Hermoses. But yeah, surround yourself with the podcasts and the people, just like the things that make you feel like what you want to achieve is like easy compared to what they have achieved. And not in a self-deprecating way, just in a way that makes you feel inspired, if that makes sense. All right, and then the other way to expand your capacity, other than through like nervous system regulation, but it's actually to visualize. And I say this to all my clients. I literally had a client this week who I made her a personalized visualization to visualize her higher self and step into that. Because the more that you can visualize something, the more familiar it is. And the more familiar it is, the easier it is for you to achieve it. For example, the past week, I've been doing this meditation where basically, and this is a similar one to what I recorded with my client, is basically where you ask your higher self to come forwards and you get them to show you, everything that you will have achieved in your life at that point. And then you keep visiting them, and the more you visit them, the more that life doesn't feel that far away, and the more they don't feel that far away. And then I remember, like, I asked her in the visualization, I was like, hey, like, what's actually the difference between us? And she said, literally nothing. Like, the only difference is if you just stop doubting yourself and you start believing yourself fully and you start going all in and you start relaxing and having fun with the process, you'll get here. And I was like, oh. And it made so much sense because of everything that I've sort of been learning lately. And I started doing that, and then boom, I started to client, have my highest income week. That's actually crazy. Like, that's actually crazy. That's insane. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, guys, you got to do this. I'm going to put meditations like that in Elevate. So if you want to try and go join Elevate, like as soon as it's open, go join, because this stuff works. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, visualize, close your eyes. Even if it is literally, even before I started listening to these meditations, I was doing a 10-minute visualization every morning where I would literally just lay on the floor, close my eyes, set a time for 10 minutes. And I would just imagine, where I want to be in 5 years time, imagine all those things, and then sort of zoom back out to here and sort of think like, okay, what is the next action that I'm going to do today to help me get there? And that has really helped. So definitely visualize, because the more that you can imagine the thing that you want to achieve, the easier it is going to be for your brain to actually understand and think like, yeah, it's actually realistic, and actually go to achieve it. Because if you're trying to achieve something that you actually can't even like imagine, it's just like, your brain doesn't know what to do. Like it's like, how are you supposed to go in that direction? You don't even know what the destination is, if that makes sense. So yeah, start visualizing. Okay, now next thing, which I have actually been doing for years, and I think it has attributed so much to everything I've achieved, is I want you to start ranting in your head about your own success. Yes, you're gonna feel really egotistical, and you're gonna feel like, oh my God, like I am not worthy of this. I'm just like being so up with myself. It's in your head, it doesn't matter. As long as you're not saying all this out loud, like that's fine. But I want you to start ranting in your own head about your own success. Like for example, when I had like 100 followers on my old account, I was saying stuff in my head like, oh my gosh. So I would imagine I was like 2 years in the future and thinking like, oh yeah, like I was able to grow 100,000 followers in 10 months and I'm really proud of it, and like I grew so fast, and like I would just rant like that, like it was a continuous self-talk track in my head, talking like it was the past tense that I'd already achieved what I was going to do. So just say you want to start a business and you want to start a 6-figure online business, which is something that I'm working on at the moment with Elevate, is I will go like, or you could say things along the lines of like, oh my gosh, yes, I love my business so much. I love my clients. I get to travel wherever. People always ask me, how do I do it? How did I build this business so quick? How did it become successful so quick? That's the kind of stuff you want to be saying in your head, right? And we'll talk about this soon, about sort of how to get out of your own way and replace your track record. But you just want to make it so normal, those sort of sentences about your own success, that by the time you actually achieve it, it doesn't even feel like a surprise. Like when you get there, you're like, oh yeah, this is just familiar. It shouldn't feel like, oh my God, I didn't realize I could do this, which in a way, like, yes, you do want to be amazed at yourself, but you don't want to, like, you're going to achieve so much more if the end destination is already familiar, if that makes sense. So yeah, start ranting to yourself in your head about your own success. All right, last bit is about how to take action, because all of these things that I've kind of explained so far are a lot of belief and mindset work, which is really important. I actually think it's actually the most important bit other than action, because if you just do the mindset work, yes, you are more likely to take action naturally, but just think thoughts alone won't get you to where you want to be. So the last bit is how to take action. So First of all is how to get out of your own way, because there's this book which I really want to read, but I can kind of like understand the gist of it just from the title. It's called The Mountain Is You. I really want to read it. I will read it very soon. But basically, and I can't even give a synopsis because I haven't read it, but what I'm kind of thinking is that, like, you know, everything that you want to achieve is like on the other side of like your self-doubt, your, you know, your belief that you can't do it. And so if you can just get over that, then the mountain just like shrinks and you can just walk straight across. So what we want to do is talk about your track record. So I was talking to a client about this week, and she has this concept that every time she tries to achieve something, every time she sets a goal for herself, she can't achieve it. Or like she'll always let herself down, she'll break her promises. And for a really long time, this was really getting her down. And I said to her, I was like, okay, can you tell me all the times you failed? Tell me every single time that you have let yourself down, that you have broken your promise, you've not keeping your word to yourself. And then for like 5 minutes, she was like, oh yeah, this, and then I failed that, and then I failed that, and I failed that. And I was like, okay, cool, great. That's all in the past. That doesn't matter anymore. That's just like, it has formed your perception of where you are now, but it isn't true, okay? Just because I had made, just say I was like training to be a chef, right? And I had made 10 bad meals in a row. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be like, it's not a life sentence for me being a bad chef for my entire life. It's just that in the past I've made not very good meals. But if you know, that doesn't say anything about my future potential. It just means that maybe I'm gonna work a bit harder and then I will be able to get better. That's just how things work. So if you have a track record of not achieving your goals, it's time to change that. And the way that we're going to do that is basically rebuild it with proof. So a bit of neuroplasticity here, a bit of neuroscience, is that we have this thing called neuroplasticity, where basically your neurons in your brain, they will get stronger, like the pathways get stronger the more you think a certain thought, because a thought is literally a neural pathway. It's a wire basically. And the more that you repeat a thought, the stronger it gets until it becomes a highway. And so if you have constantly had thoughts of like, oh yeah, I keep failing, I keep breaking my promises, I can't achieve anything I set my mind to, whatever, it's going to keep going along that highway until it becomes so strong that that's your identity and that's what you believe is true. And when your identity is a certain way, your actions will follow it, because if they don't, it creates cognitive dissonance. That's a whole other episode. But basically, if your identity is a certain way that you can't achieve things, then when you try to do something else, your body will pull you back to that, because that's what's normal, and your nervous system is going to try and protect that. So we want to actually rewrite that and start building a highway in the opposite direction of the thoughts of, yes, I can do this, I am really capable, I can do things, I can do anything I set my mind to. So we have acknowledged the ways that you failed so far, acknowledged that they are not true, they have formed your reality for now, but they are not true anymore. Now what we want to do is start building a track record of beliefs in the other direction, this direction here, about your new self-concept and the things that you really want to live by yourself. So just say, for example, you want to be a better content creator and you want to be more consistent. Rather than telling yourself the story of like, oh, every time that I've tried to stick on a content calendar, every time that I've tried to stay consistent, I failed. We're going to stop thinking those thoughts, okay? They're not helping us. And if you really want to fight to keep that, go for it, but you're not going to get anywhere. Like, do you really want to fight to keep those thoughts? No, probably not. So we're going to replace those thoughts with things like, you know, every single week I get more consistent with content. Every single thing that I post is better than the last. Think those kind of things. And then eventually you get to the point where you're thinking, yeah, I'm actually really good at content. I'm a really consistent content creator. And then that pathway, the more you repeat that, it's going to become a highway. And then once it's a highway, that is your new identity. And then once it's your new identity, the action's going to be really easy to follow because they align with your identity. So pretty much from the moment that you start achieving a goal, I want you to get a little jar and label it proof, and tear up some pieces of paper and put it next to the jar. And every single time that you do something or you achieve something that is in line with that goal that you want to achieve, write it on the paper and add it to the jar. I have this little bowl on my desk, which I've been doing that for. And every time that you signal to your brain that you are capable of achieving what you want to, it will reinforce that pathway and your brain will be like, oh yeah, actually no, I can do it. And that will make it so much easier for you. So basically keep collecting proof the entire time. And also as well, something that I do have a goal setting framework. Maybe, yeah, I'll link it down in the description for you guys. 12 weeks, where basically you set 3 different goals in 3 different areas, and then you've got 12-week milestones, or like milestones for 1 week, for 12 weeks, you have a milestone every single week. And basically you want to make those milestones like very achievable, because if you can achieve the first one for each goal, that's going to tell your brain like, oh my gosh, I actually can do it. And then you can keep pushing yourself rather than trying to hit like 100% on the first week, because you're going to probably let yourself down. And this is a whole other thing, which I talk about a lot in Elevate, is like how to keep your word to yourself and how to stop breaking your promises. But that's a whole other thing. So keep collecting proof, and when you notice, oh my god, things are going well, I'm starting to get there, see that as momentum. Don't be like, oh my gosh, things have been going well, but I know it's all going to go downhill from here. Because if you think that, it probably will. So instead you can see it as proof and think, I've been doing so well and I'm so proud of myself and I'm building momentum and I'm going to get to my goals so fast and I'm so proud of myself. So yeah, but all that being said, I think that's most of the things I want to say for this. Obviously there is some more like strategy in terms of like scheduling in the actions that you're going to take. There's actually a lot more than I could probably fit in this episode, but that's okay. Maybe I'll make another episode in the future about that. But this is sort of the more mindset things of like how to get out of your own way so you can achieve your goals. If that helped, flipping join Elevate. Like if this helped you at all, I'll put the link for Elevate in the description. Otherwise it'll be the waitlist, and then when you join the waitlist, it'll just like send you the email to join. Yeah, join Elevate, because literally if you want to go above and beyond, Elevate is the place to be. And I'm not just saying that because of my business. It's sort of like, if I wanted to achieve crazy things and I found Elevate 5 years ago, I would not have hesitated at all. Like, this is exactly what I needed. And so I'm really grateful that I can, have the privilege to be able to put that out there in the world for you. So yeah, okay, that's it. I need to drink some water. I hope that helped. If it did help, I would love if you could rate this podcast, especially if you are on Spotify. If you can download it, that would be amazing. And then you can undownload it after, whatever. And then if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, all the rest, and send me a DM or a comment and tell me how it's changed your life. That would be amazing. I love you guys so much. And I'll see you in next week's episode, which I think is actually going to be at a studio, but we shall see. And that's going to be really exciting. But yeah. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.